Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my Better You Health series. And today's video is going to be a little bit different because I have a great question coming in from a good friend of mine, Mikey Del Rosario, who's been on his own fitness journey to become a better version of himself. He's been really doing a great job, and I feel like this question is one that a lot of people ask, and the answer will not only apply to Mikey, but to all of you out there who are striving to become a better you. Of course though, before we jump right into it, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot. A big percentage of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet. Hi, how you doing? So if you haven't yet, leave a like on this video. If you like this type of content, that's what the like button's for, and I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot. Please and thank you. Alright, so on screen right now is Mikey's message to me. A lot of kind words. I really appreciate the love and support he's given me, not only for this health series, but for the channel in general. But to summarize, Mikey asks, is using the body mass index, or BMI for short, an accurate way to gauge if my body is quote unquote where it's supposed to be? Or I guess we could generalize the question by asking, is using the BMI a good measurement of overall health? If you're unfamiliar, the BMI is a scale or an index, hence body mass index, made by the World Health Organization to help you see if the weight that you're currently in compared to your height is quote unquote healthy. So depending on the value that you get from the formula, which is your current body weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters squared, you can see if you're underweight, within normal limits, overweight, or even obese, based on the values that you can currently see on screen. So statistically, being overweight, obese, and in some cases underweight can be an indication of health problems, or can mean that a person is more likely to develop health problems in the future. So the short answer is no, BMI is not the most accurate way to measure where your body stands in terms of health. For the longer answer, there are a ton of different ways that one can gauge their overall health. Some are more accurate, some are more precise compared to the BMI. When you think about it, there are so many variables in general when it comes to health, such as your strength, your endurance, your flexibility, your mental and your emotional health, how you manage stress, so on and so forth. But of course, for the sake of this video, we'll stick to the references of weight and your body composition, specifically your muscle and your fat mass. Another reason why using BMI as your only measure of health isn't recommended because we're all different people. We all have different genetics, ethnicities, body types, and frames. We're all built different. I'm built different. Yes, buff man that cracked an egg with his biceps. We're all built different. Even in the picture that I flashed on screen for you guys, there are actually two ways to measure BMI. One set by the WHO, which is a more universal standard, and the Asia Pacific standard measurement, which is used here in the Philippines or in other countries in Asia, of course. Think about it. Right now, my BMI is at 28.1, which means this puts me in the overweight category. To be at the upper limit of my normal range, I would have to be at least 168 pounds. Technically, if you think about it, if I cut off my arm, which is probably about 20 to 30 pounds, that would ultimately put me in my normal limit, right? But is that healthy? Of course not. I would still have the excess body fat in different areas of my body, plus I just lost an arm. Kidding aside, and of course for a more realistic example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, former Mr. Olympian, in his prime, averaged at 235 pounds. With a height of 6.2 feet, his BMI would have been 30.2, putting him in the obese category. Does a person like this look like they're obese to you? BMI is technically the average of people in that height class. But of course, this will always be a case-to-case basis. BMI doesn't take account to a lot of things: bone density, muscle mass, actual fat distribution, all these specific factors that make us individuals, which may or may not affect how we weigh. We could still take into account that this doesn't entirely disprove what BMI stands for. It just means that you shouldn't rely on this alone when it comes to measuring your current state of health in terms of your body weight. When it comes to body composition, it normally comes down to measuring your lean body mass and the amount of body fat that you have. The gold standard used by the American College of Sports Medicine, or the ACSM, so far is to go through hydrostatic weight, where basically what they do is they weigh you on land and they weigh you underwater, and using a special formula between these variables can calculate your actual body fat. Another more recent and more popular option is the dual energy X-ray absorptiometry, aka the DEXA scan, which is actually an imaging test used to measure bone density. But this test can also measure your body composition, such as your actual body fat and muscle mass. So as you can see, these two options are actually more direct. They're definitely more accurate than just using the BMI, but the downside is, as you can guess, it's very hard to come by. It's not readily available for the common person. Usually it's used by athletes and scientists, and even if it's readily available, it's definitely more expensive. For the average individual, there are a ton of different ways that you can measure your body composition, or ways to measure for your body goal. One more common, inexpensive, and easily accessible option is the fat calipers, where you pinch different skin folds of your body, and the average of these measurements give you a good estimate of your body fat. There are also handheld body fat scanners, or like myself, my weighing scale actually has one built in. Even without all this technology, the easiest way of all is just taking pictures of yourself. Document yourself before and after a period of time, and visually see how your body has improved. Although of course for this method there's no actual number involved, it's more of a qualitative measurement. Even something as simple as getting a t-shirt that you used to fit in, or maybe one that you're aiming to fit in, and working towards hitting that goal. Yes, of course, just like the BMI scale, all of these are not 100% accurate. So maybe some of you guys are asking which is the best one to use. Just like everything I talk about in this series, whether it be for diet or for exercise, the best way that you can measure your health and progress is the method that you can use constantly and adhere to. Instead of using the BMI scale, I personally like to use my ideal body weight range. There's a bunch of websites out there that will help you calculate your ideal body weight, but the easiest one that you can use is the one on screen. Using my own variables as an example, my ideal body weight is 50 kilograms plus 2.3 kilograms times 9, since I'm 5'9", comes to an ideal body weight of 70 kilograms, or to get it in pounds you multiply it by 2.2, leaving me with 155 pounds as my ideal body weight. To get my ideal body weight range, I add n minus 10% to that value, giving me a range of a minimum of 140 pounds and an upper limit of 171 pounds. I like this better because it not only gives me a wider range to aim for, it's also more realistic in my opinion, because again, it depends on your muscle mass, the amount of body fat you have, how active you are, rather for aiming for one specific number and then being told that you're unhealthy just because you tipped 1 or 2 pounds. At the end of the day though, the most important thing that I want you guys to take away from this video, these numbers should not define your worth, your happiness, and honestly these shouldn't be your primary goals in terms of health. There are a ton of people out there who are within their normal weight range but can still be deemed sick or unhealthy because of other factors, because they're not taking care of themselves in other aspects of health. A bodybuilder like Arnold can be ripped, have 5% body fat, but can ultimately be unhappy because of the unrelenting training and dieting that you need to stay within those limits. What will always matter at the end of the day is what makes you happy and what will help you live your life to the fullest. If you're happy just the way you are, no matter what the reason, that's beautiful. You should always love yourself first. But if this video inspires you to make a little bit of change, maybe you realize there are things that you can change that can make you even better than before, make you happier, make you healthier, maybe this video or the video series of mine in general can help you take steps to becoming a better you, then that's great. I fully support it and I wish you luck in everything that you do. Thank you once again to Mikey for not only this question, but of course the love and support that you've given me for this little health series of mine. And that is it for this video. If any of you have questions that you want me to answer, leave a comment down below. I love conversing with you guys there. Maybe hopefully I can make a video out of it. Follow me on Instagram at Albie Peralta. I'm a bit more personal there. I post stories almost every day, and I post when I have a new YouTube video coming out here on my YouTube channel, so that's one way to get notified. Other than of course subscribing to the channel, guys, it really does help a lot. And check out my other videos on this channel. As the banner says, I have anything and everything in between on there. And that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye, guys. That's